Hello, folks, and thank you for being here today on our daily edition of Soil and Soul 2023 here on my platform, Sacred Earth Essentials, where I believe the earth is sacred and you are too. So, this year's journey of Soil and Soul is beginning here in Vermont. Hopefully, we'll be able to expand and explore some other soil throughout the world. And Soil and Soul, the purpose and the goal is to educate and share stories about soil and soul. We are learning about the importance of soil, how to make it, why we need to save it, and how the soil is responsible for our life. And what types of plants do we get to enjoy and appreciate that come from this soil that we come from. And on a soulful level, what is the relationship with soul and spirit and place or location? And what is our relationship with nature? And how does nature nourish our spirit, our soul? And then how to give back to the earth so that we can live in a harmonious reciprocity with the earth and each other. Right? Sounds good. And that's what I thought too. When I first originally moved to Vermont in 2008, I came up here in February. I only had little Puma shoes, little black and white Puma shoes, no boots. I got a little bit of frostbite on one of my toes, no snow tires. I was like, how different can Vermont be? It's only a couple states away. So that was when I first came to Vermont, after graduating from Indiana University of Pennsylvania all those years ago. And I wanted to come here. I came here on a prayer, really, literally prayed, and believed that if I didn't get to a healthier place, that I would die, if not physically, at least spiritually. I wanted clean water, clean air, and to learn about plants, herbalism, and community. We always had a large extended family. My dad's friends, I considered like family growing up. And we didn't use the word community though. We used the words neighbors, and family, friends. So community was not a word that we used. And I also came here to learn about the causes of suffering and how to alleviate suffering on a new level. And so as we go on those journeys with these lofty goals in mind, we will face challenges. And those challenges will hopefully help us grow. Again, just like a seed sprouting through the shell and through the soil, reaching up towards the sun, and surviving all of those days until it fruits, whether those days are cold, sunny, rainy, the plant perseveres, just like so many of the trees here in Vermont that last year long, the evergreens, remaining green all year round. So may you carry some evergreen in your heart wherever you may go, to spread the verdant greenery of life from your heart. And what's a plant that helps us to do that? Schizandria berry. I'm still on the Chinese plants. So this particular berry originates in China, I believe in northern China. Schizandria berry, which is Schizandria chinensis, so the Chinese Schizandria berry. In Chinese language, it is called Wu Wei Zi. Hopefully, again, I'm pronouncing that correctly. Wu Wei Zi, which I find interesting because for me, when I hear the phrase Wu Wei, I think of the Tao. And maybe it's Wu Wei. It's W-U space W-E-I space Z-I. And it actually means man's crevice, basically, in Greek, coming from Chaesis, meaning crevice, for example, because of the berries when ripe have a particular crevice in the center of them. Another name for this plant is magnolia vine, and I will put a link below to a video of one of my teachers, Deb Soul from Avena Botanicals in Maine, and she has a very large patch of Schizandria berry growing there, and they are just so delicious and succulent and beautiful looking. They're these bright red berries, like more of a cherry red color, and they immediately make my mouth water to just look at them. And they have these beautiful green leaves, medium, like a rich green leaf, and they can grow up to 29 feet tall. They prefer to be on trellises. And if you watch our video, you'll get to see what they look like on the live plant, not just in a little baggie. And that's one of the reasons why learning herbalism in person is so essential, because you get to actually spend time with the plant and get to know the plant and feel the plant, just like when you get to learn from people in person. As much as connecting online can be great and feel good, there is a particular quality, a tactile sensation that one only gets in person when we can fully feel the complete heart radiance and spiritual presence of another being, whether that be plant, human, or animal, which technically we're animals, right? All right. So the 5 flavored berry is what this stands for in the Wu Wei Zi. That means 5 flavored berry, because it touches all areas of the tongue that taste different types of flavors, get a little bit from this plant. It's both pungent, sweet, sour, salty, and bitter, all at the same time. So that's part of why it's considered a supreme adaptogen and an excellent tonic for balancing the whole system, because on that energetic level, it touches each area of the system and then can kind of balance it out. I'm like feeling like that there's something out there that, like a comparison that someone else understands, of whether it be a technology or with cars for some reason, kind of like you're pouring this into the system, and it is, if it were so if you believe in plant intelligence, so I made this tea here, right? And we kind of discussed this slightly, plant intelligence, with the mycelium yesterday. And so for a moment here, we'll just, fancy me this, that this plant is intelligence and that there is life in this plant still. Although it's been dried. These are the dried berries. And that is some tea that I just made. Again, when you're learning herbalism, try each plant separately and to help sit with the plants, meditate with the plants. If you do not have the live plants and cannot grow them, go to a place that has them and order things online while we still can. So this is what they look like dried. They're probably like 4 to 5 times that size and cherry red when fresh. So fancy me this, right? That this plant has an intelligence, and that when we're taking this plant, one of Deb Soul's favorite ways to, I love Deb. Deb is the most, like, I can't even say Deb's name without also giving thanks and expressing what a gentle, sweet soul she is. I have had the honor of meeting her in person several times at the Women's Herbal Conference and the International Herb Symposium. And she is so sweet and so ethereal and just beautiful and loving that it's almost challenging to believe that she's a human and not an actual real fairy person, if you were to believe in that kind of a thing. And Deb and people like Deb should be learned from And I think revered, respected, and preserved, their essence should be shared. Just like how the plants share their essence with us as medicine, people can share their essence with us as medicine as well. And Deb, to me, embodies a quality and a very gentle essence, a very soft, very loving, very authentic, true, and honest. Like, so honest and soft, it's like it almost hurts. It's so soft, it makes you cry, because it helps you to soften yourself, and in that process recognize where you are not soft and where you have been hard and closed and hurt. And so being around Deb is healing in and of itself, just because her presence helps us to remember what feeling soft and calm and safe and loved feels like. And in a society and culture that is often opposite that, to have someone in our presence, in our world, alive today, that can still embody that gentleness, that deep, deep, beyond words gentleness, and share it with the world and bring it out into what she does, is such a gift. It is a divine and amazing gift. And another example of why I love people, because of what we can learn just from being in someone's presence at times. And in some cultural belief systems, that's because we carry with us in our souls, remember this is soil and soul, all of our past lifetimes, if you believe in that. So all of our experiences, the essence from that. The essence, also, there's a relationship there with the genetic lineage, and as far as our flesh goes as well. So that's a lot to carry with one. So when we meet people and our essence mixes with their essence, we get these, just like the Schizandria berry, the 5-flavor berry. We may get all of those flavors with people. And different people have different combinations of those flavors. The bitter, the salty, the sweet, the pungent, the sour, right? And same when we're blending scents. And so finding the flavors and the scents that blend well and harmoniously together is part of what makes both plants and people an art and a science. All right, I can talk forever, so I'm going to try to stay focused. Let's have a taste, a little sippy sip of this Schizandria berry tea. Thank you, Schizandria berry. I can feel my throat is very dry with the wood heat. I do need to hydrate more and probably add honey to my tea. So cheers, salud. Oh my God, just smelling it, I didn't even get to taste it yet. You get this nice, spicy, I wonder if there's not caryophyllene in this berry. So it coats the tongue. So what I was saying is imagining that as you're taking this herb, as you're ingesting this berry tea, that it is working like an intelligence in your system. And as it's spreading through your system, it's able to detect where you are out of balance and help to bring you back into alignment and bring you back into balance. And so these different aspects of Schizandria, its 5 flavors, work together in that regard. And so when I drink Schizandria berry, I can feel it coat all of those areas of my tongue, and it's a very delightful sensation because you're experiencing all of those 5 sensations, tastes simultaneously. So very, very full, enriching experience. And one of my other favorite things about plants is that as you get to ingest them and practice this, you notice those subtle nuances and those differences in flavors and tastes, which is, I believe, part of what helps me as a ganjier, as someone who assesses cannabis, is my experience with other plants and herbs and berries and flavors and scents, as well as the science of plants. And the fact that I grow them enriches my ability to provide excellent ganjier services. So if you're interested in learning more about that, feel welcome to contact me as well. I'm hoping to travel in that regard this year. And so Schizandria berry was widely used by Chinese royalty as well, just like yesterday when we discussed reishi. And was known for being used as a preserver, of helping to prevent premature aging. It was considered a beautifier. It was considered a reproductive tonic, and even over time used to help improve the skin. It is one of the favorite berries to go to, again, as an adaptogen, supporting the immune system. It protects the heart, the lung, the liver, the kidneys. It is known to help with qi flow and to purify blood. It helps with concentration and nourishes the genitals. It helps to nourish the water of the genitals, helping to increase the fluids to make that part of your body more sensitive and to moisturize for long-term health of the skin and of the genitals. And so it's also considered an aphrodisiac. I actually got some of this information from my book by Bridget Mars called The Sexual Herbal. Okay. It's The Sexual Herbal Prescriptions for Enhancing Love and Passion by Bridget Mars. Again, falling apart this book. This book, I had the honor of meeting her at one of the women's herbal conferences many years ago. I've also been doing some of this research from The Organic Medicinal Herb Farmer by Jeff and Melanie Carpenter here in Vermont with Zach Wood's Herb Farm. They are OGs, I would call them, in the herbal community. And again, another well-loved book, also well-loved by a puppy at one point. And Medical Herbalism, The Science and Practice of Herbal Medicine by David Hoffman. So that's where we're getting some of our information. I am really loving this Schizandria berry tea. One of the great things about this tea is you don't even need to add anything else to it. You can just drink it by itself. So it is used also in the treatment of anxiety, depression, chronic fatigue, exhaustion, eczema, headaches, hepatitis, HIV, hives, infertility, insomnia, irritability, low libido, low sperm count, lung weakness, memory loss, night sweats, nocturnal emissions, polyuria, premature aging I mentioned before, premature ejaculation. It has a reputation of helping men to last longer, hence that part about the pre-ejaculation. It's used as well in the treatment of PTSD. Hopefully you don't get that from watching my show. Spermatoria, stress, excessive sweating, and wasting disease. So it's also used to facilitate athletic recovery and, again, improve sexual stamina, which, as I mentioned in some of the other videos, makes sense as it's an adaptogen. So what do people want? Most people want to be healthy and happy and to feel love and to not have to worry about basic needs being met and things like that. So when we're talking about our relationships and what we would like in those areas, again, self-care, taking care of your divine vessel, taking care of your emanation of the divine universe that is embodied, encapsulated literally in your body, you know, your piece of the collective soul. Honoring that, taking good care of yourself, drinking things like Schizandria berry. So when you nourish your body and your soil and your soul, as well as the literal soil of the earth, then you enjoy your life better. You feel better. What you give to the community is of a different caliber. And all of that is not selfish, except if you believe we're all one, then it would make sense to be selfish because we're all one, which is another conversation. The point being is that when we take care of ourselves through plant or natural based medicines and exercise and healthy choices, we are happier. And then what we vibrate out into the world is of a higher, more positive vibration, right? Oh my God, I love this tea. So it is considered energetically to be warm, dry. It's a yang tea, and it is associated with Mars and Jupiter in planetary herbal astrology and the fire element, which often, if one is depressed or feeling lethargic, you could say that your fire may be low. And so incorporating things like Schizandria berry tea, elixirs, tinctures, eating the fresh berries may help stoke your fire, which again, looking at all that snow, stoking my own fire. It should not be used when pregnant and should be avoided in excess if you're already overly heated or have a fever or have some type of acidic condition. It's not recommended for cough. And if you begin to have a rash or you already have some type of an early stage of a rash, it is not recommended to take Schizandria. And as always, I'm not diagnosing, preventing, or treating anything, and check with your primary healthcare physician. It was first described in 1596 in Chinese literature from an ancient person named Li Shichen. And it grows best in climates that have a moderate humidity and light, as well as having a humus-rich soil. So Deb was saying in her video on growing Schizandria berry that it may take up to 10 years to get a crop of Schizandria berries, and that the best thing to do is to throw a layer of compost on there at the end or once a season. So its constituents, it includes vitamin C, vitamin E, manganese, phosphorus, silicone, sesquiterpene, legana, schizandrine, gomacine, essential oils, phytosterols, beta-sitosterol, mucilage, citric acid, malic acid, and tartaric acid. It is delicious. It improves all of these things physically with coordination, with your sensory experience. It improves these different things in your body, balancing out the elements. It's, again, restorative, tonic in all of those different areas, adaptogen, antibacterial, antidepressant, antioxidant, aphrodisiac, astringent, brain tonic, immune tonic, kidney tonic, nervous tonic, reproductive tonic, restorative, sedative, yang tonic, yin tonic, restorative, because sometimes taking care of one balances the other out, and it can also be a menagogue and a cholegalog. So you need to be cautious for that, which is why it's not recommended to take when pregnant. All right, folks, plenty of information, and this is why studying the plants is a lifetime passion and pursuit. And there are people out there who are much more experted, which is not a word, who are more experts than I am. But I really love this, and I love sharing this information and sharing a little bit of tea with you. It's really delicious. I'm appreciating this. And so many of us feel depleted. So many of us have experienced these mental, emotional, physical challenges in some way, shape, or form in this lifetime. And that is, again, one of the most beautiful aspects of herbalism to me, is that it can be so personalized and creative and beautiful. I mean, personally, and again, feel free, if you are interested, you can not only check out Avena Botanicals if you want to purchase them, but you can purchase them through my affiliate link with Mountain Rose Herbs, Schizandria berries. Make your own tea and tincture. And just so much more beautiful than taking a pill. And a lot of these things that the plants help with, in my experience, have been where if I go to the allopathic doctor at the doctor's office, the plants help me more than any of the pills I've received have. And the plants often can also help to supplement for people who have to take medications that are not interacting with the plants. The plants can help to fill the gaps where the pharmaceuticals are not helping. And again, because the plants are so nutritive and we want to make our food our medicine and our medicine our food, many of our health problems are a direct result from not taking care of ourselves physically. These health conditions are a direct result of not having the adequate nutrition, or years of chronic stress, or years of toxins in the environment and the food. And so I really love soil, I really love souls, and plants are an extension of that soil. So thank you again for watching today's show. I hope you get to enjoy some Wu Wei Zi, some Schizandria berry at some point, and I hope you learned something new today. Don't forget, the earth is sacred, and you are too. Be at peace and be a blessing. Bye.